students, today we will be studying the osteological features of the Norma basalis. Now when we study the cranium, mind you, cranium, skull minus the mandible, when we visualize the cranium from the inferior aspect, that is what is called as the Norma basalis.
So as I said, when we study the cranium, that is skull minus the mandible from the inferior aspect, it is called as the Norma basalis. Now what are the boundaries of the Norma basalis? It is bounded anteriorly by the incisor teeth, posteriorly by the superior nuchal lines, laterally by the rest of the teeth, the zygomatic arch, the posterior root of the zygoma, and the mastoid process on either side. Now, for the sake of convenience, Norma basalis is divided into three parts: the anterior, middle, and the posterior part. The hard palate and the alveolar arch are included in the anterior part of the Norma basalis, and an imaginary line passing through the anterior margin of the foramen magnum separates the posterior part from the middle part of the Norma basalis. So now we will be studying the anterior part of the Norma basalis in detail. Let us first see the posterior border of the hard palate. It forms the junction between the anterior and the middle parts of the Norma basalis. The posterior nasal spine. It is a spinous projection from the midline seen at the posterior border of the hard palate. It lies in the median plane. The musculus uvulae is attached to the posterior nasal spine. Then we see the alveolar arch. It possesses sockets for the roots of the teeth. The number of sockets depends upon the number of roots. There is a single socket for each of the incisors, the canine, and premolars. There are 3 sockets for each of the molar teeth. Bones contributing to formation of the hard palate. The palatine processes of the 2 maxillae contribute to the anterior 2/3 of the hard palate. The posterior 1/3 is contributed by the horizontal plates of the palatine bones. The bony palate is marked by several depressions produced by the palatine glands. We then study the cruciform suture. This suture here is called as the cruciform suture, and it is formed by union of 3 smaller sutures, and those 3 sutures are the intermaxillary suture, the interpalatine suture, and the palatomaxillary suture. We then go on to see the incisive fossa. It is present anteriorly in the median plane of the hard palate. Incisive foramen, right and left, pierce its corresponding side. Each incisive foramen is traversed by nasopalatine nerve and greater palatine vessels. We then go on to see the greater palatine foramen. It is present behind the lateral part of the palatomaxillary suture. Greater palatine vessels and nerve pass through it. A groove observed between the greater palatine foramen and the incisive fossa is meant for the greater palatine vessels. lesser palatine foramina. These are 1 to 3 small foramina in the pyramidal process of the palatine bone and are located just behind the greater palatine foramen on each side. The lesser palatine nerves and vessels pass through these foramina. We then go on to see the palatine crest. It is a curved ridge observed in the hard palate near its posterior border. The palatine aponeurosis is attached to the palatine crest, posterior border of the hard palate and the area between the two. We then go on to see the premaxilla. It is a triangle shaped piece of maxilla holding the 4 incisor teeth. It is a separate bone in most of the vertebrates. So these were all the features that we saw in the anterior part of the Norma basalis. We saw the posterior border of hard palate. We saw how the hard palate is formed, the bones forming it and the 3 sutures which contribute to formation of the cruciform suture. We saw the alveolar arch. We saw the incisive fossa, incisive foramen, greater and lesser palatine foramina. Thank you.